So when KarateDSL was started, they were supporting only API testing basically, and it is a very popular and very I would say like a very good tool for API testing. It is providing DSLs basically. You can compare that with the keyword driven framework. So all your test script needs, so no, they are providing keywords, like suppose you want to make different request response, all everything they are having keywords, and they have assertion libraries integrated, reports and all are integrated. You can run it in CI, all the things are there. Even you can create mocks. Even now recently they added support for desktop application automation as well as web application automation using Selenium. All in all, you can say that is a tool which supports like both API as well as UI automation together. From one script you can actually do that. So we will see some basic examples, how we can actually use KarateDSL for API testing today. So we'll start with the installation stuff, right? App repo. And another thing I want to tell you, like, this repository is the best way to learn. If you want to learn karate, this is the best place to run, actually. So you might be getting some tutorials and videos and all in YouTube, but this repository actually contains each and everything. I mean, at least from in my experience, like, this is one of the best technical documentation I have come across for a framework, basically. So you can see all the things, like how the karate works and what and all are there, examples, everything is actually documented here. Quick start guide and all, then all how you can write your script, basically. So we'll go to the quick start guide here. You can there is a one line command here. Okay, so if you go to your command line and you can type this particular command, just group ID and artifact ID you have to change. Okay, so when you run this, so this will generate a project for you with a sample test, so which is like working test. So I'll open from here. You open that particular, select that particular whatever you have created today, right? I have that karate test project here. You can see here, right? No, it has already created stuff. Yeah, it is coming along with that archetype. So it is giving one default feature file, some runner file, right? So you can see all those things. So just to verify, everything is working fine, you can right click and you can run that. If you go to file, okay, this is my project which I have modified, basically. Go to settings, and then there is something called plugins. So there you can search for Cucumber, Cucumber, Cucumber for Java. I have already installed it. You can install that plugin. Basically, this is a typical BDD format. Okay, so first one line is like you have to add your feature description. Okay, then background is something like before each scenario, if you want to execute something, you can put under background. So here, base URL in this example, here's put the base URL in the background. So if you have multiple scenarios, so this particular code will be executed before each scenario. And the star URL, it's nothing but a variable, like URL variable you can use anywhere. Now, the first one is no, your scenario is like it is just a simple GET request. Now, given path, that means you have a URL and then slash users, that is your path. Then the method will be having no get or post or update, delete, all the things will come under method. Then similarly, when you want to give some assertion, right? The status is 200 basically. So status the code 200. Then second one is like response. Now the response is coming in a JSON format, response 0. They're putting in again a variable, and then it is calling another one. Like suppose you want to call the first user basically, right? So user 1. So first user ID, it is passing in the path and then it is verifying the response again. Okay. And then second one is for create. Now for create, you can pass the variable in this format in the feature file only. Okay. That is one way. Or I will show you the other options, like how you can actually pass this particular JSON from file. So both the options are available. You can pass it here, or you can pass, if it is a big one, then you can read from a file. And then a similar way, like request, now it is post basically. And then it is verifying the status code like 201 for that particular request. Okay. So this is the user feature which comes in default. So we will do something no extra here. We will add I have added a new activities feature. So this is a fake APIs. First one is activities. So I'm trying to get the activities, post something, create a new activity, and I'm trying to put and delete here. So if you can go here, you can click on the try it out link, okay, and execute. So you can see the response, right? So same way, I'm trying to replicate this in this KarateDSL. Basically, we'll go through one by one each. The first one is, yeah. So I am adding this one. Okay, I'll tell you first about the karate config file. So and there is a config file here. Okay, so in this config file, also you can add your variables, like any configuration variables. If you want to use across your feature files, you can add. It's like a JSON, right? Key value pair you can add. So first config parameter for me here is like API host, right? So I have added in the karate-config.js file. Okay. So and suppose I want to read some extra files. So I added one locators.json file. So this one I have added for the UI test. So you can see, this is also again a JSON format, key value pairs I have added. I'll show you how we can actually use this, but for time being, just ignore the locator.json file. We'll focus on only on the API part. So my host is here, and then I have a path defined, right? So activities. If you see here in your documentation, right? So up to version 1, that is common. Then I have path. So I am taking these activities and I am getting using the get method, and then status should be 100. Okay. So what we will do up to this part, I'll copy it in another file so that it is easy to see. So you can create your own structure here. So if you want to create a new feature file, you have to create like this. Activity dot feature. Okay, then just paste it. Background you can use if you have multiple scenarios and you want to execute something before each scenario.
Okay.
And then path and method will be like your gate post, right? This looks like a BDD, right? So this is actually a DSL, and but you don't need to write the step definitions here. The karate itself will give these keywords, and how you will get those keywords, again you have to go back to their this documentation basically. Domain DSL means domain specific language. So that is like not specific to any programming. If you see here, no, the implementation is up to us. DSL means how actually, for example, I have given path and activities, right?
Yes.
That is one single line. Now, what is the meaning of that line? So we have to actually map that to some code, right, to run that basically. For a user, this is a very programming language agnostic feature basically.
Yes.
When I read this particular feature, I know okay, what I'm going to test or what I'm going to no, achieve running this particular file. This is like a business use case for me.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they are giving actually all this DSLs, all these keywords already defined, right? And we can actually use it for not testing our APIs without writing any single line of code basically. Now if I run this, yeah, so this is executed. Okay, so it is telling, okay, my scenario is passed, and it generates some kind of report. And if you click here, you can actually see each line, like what is in the background, then how much time it took to run that particular, then what is in the given, then no this is actually main request, right? So what request and what is the response it is coming, also you can see it in the log. Okay, now if you think about, you can compare this particular thing with maybe your rest assured or something, right? So just think about the time you save here, right? So in rest assured, if you want to execute this thing, right, and get all the response logging, you may need a dedicated logger to put that thing in a report. Maybe you have to create your own logging class, then your reporting class. You may need listeners and all those things, but karate has actually simplified that for us. We can focus only on writing the test here. Okay, this is very simple test. Let's go to the next test now. So let's now go to the next one. Okay, so first one is very simple, right? So I'm just passing a get request. Next one, I want to actually get a particular request, like first activity, right? So to get the first activity, I have to pass the ID, right? Activity ID basically. If you see here, I'll go to the Swagger. I'll close this. You can get the activity based on the activity ID. Now this particular request I'm just trying to simulate here. Now if you try it out, just you can give some ID, and if it is there, it will return. Yeah, see, ID 10, it is returning. Same way, if I want to do it from the code from the karate, right? So what I have to do, basically what I'm doing, first I'm calling the first one, all activities, and I'm taking a variable. If you remember, in Postman also we used to take intermediate variable and save it somewhere, right? Environment and all. Similarly here also it allows you to save your response in some variable. Okay, so the response 0 I'm taking here, and I'm calling the first the next request basically. So and then no, I'm asserting it is 200. So you can give your own other assertions also. So this particular scenario, when you run, you can see all the methods here. So if I copy up to this in my demo feature, Yeah, so this is done, and your report also should be updated. All the features, all the steps basically. Okay, so this is one case of get. Now let's go to the post, because post is the complex one where we need to pass request, data, response. We need to verify response and all. Let's understand first what is the post is doing. So if you go here in your Swagger, right? So let's go there and understand first the post, and we'll come back to the code. Okay, so basically we need to send data now, request body, right? So we can send any data like title, due date, even there is no validation they have added, so any data is fine, and then you can execute basically. Okay, so suppose I have given title, test title, making it false, right? And I execute it. You can see id anyway auto generated, they are generating as 0 only all the time. Then test title and due date, also they have taken some random date, and completed I have given false, so it is false. This is the response body, and in this case you have to construct the request body also. Two things, one is response, one is request. So I'll show you how actually you can even pass the first one is I'm passing the request body from the feature file only. So this is a simple one, right? So I can directly pass some data because it's a small one. So how we have to do first, same way you have to define a variable. Okay, take a variable and create the values, like construct that with the your values, and in the path you have to pass that variable. Okay, in the request basically path will be like same here, activities only, but in the request body, if you want to send something in the request body, you have to use this particular keyword like request and then the variable. Now I have defined a variable called new activity, so I am passing new activity, and this time method is post. Okay, now after that I want to verify the title. Okay, so I am passing the title as test dummy, right? So I want to verify the title basically. So again I am taking a variable and response dot title. Okay, then and status code also I am verifying. So this matcher keyword like match this title with my expected one is test dummy, right? So I am verifying with that. Let me copy this to the other file so that okay. Okay, so yeah, it executed. Okay, and you can see, but you need the documentation basically to construct your thing. But yeah, here it is like you if you know what are the keywords you have to use, then it is very easy. Even you can no you can generate this file basically using some utility. You can generate this file if you want to more over simplify the process again. You can, it is very no possible to generate this file. Yeah, okay, so this is post, and we are actually sending data from the feature file, right? So suppose I want to send this data from a file. Okay, so how we will external file basically. Now I don't want to hard code my request here, right? Hard coding means again changing, means every time you have to change your feature file. So if you want to do it in a data driven way, so this is the thing. Karate again provides a read function here. So only thing you need to pass the path of the file. Okay. So you really don't need to write again any code. So you can use this read method. And read method may you have to pass the path of the your file where you are actually defining. I'm defining is this activity request here. Okay. So suppose I'm doing now test data driven. Okay. And I want to use that file basically, right? So you have to give the path, complete path basically, from where to pick that file, and all other things are same. If it is still passing or it is failing. Yeah, see here, it is telling not equal. Test data driven, and I am verifying with test dummy, right? And in the report also, I think that should be reflected. Now fail count is 1. You can see the fail is getting reflected. And the match title, here you can see the error. So yeah, this is post basically. And then we'll see update also. Update is similar. Suppose I want to update title. Okay. And maybe completed state also I want to update. But for update, let's see what is the path, right? So if you go here, I have to go to the put. It needs the ID basically, right? So which record we want to update. So we have to pass the ID also in the update case. Like we have to send the request body as well as we have to send the ID. Now request body, we can send it, yeah, from here or file, it is fine. But in the path, the difference is here I am passing the parameter also. Okay. Now after updating, I need to do my validation, right? So the method is changed to now put. Previously it was post, now method is changed to put. Now suppose I'm updating the title and I want to verify if changes are updated properly or not. So I am taking again two variables like updated title and updated status. And you can even do directly also like response.title or response.completed also you can do. But yeah, I'm taking two variables and I'm putting the assertion. Okay. Let me copy this. Okay. So here, yeah, same way. Only very minimum differences. And then if I now run this activity feature, it should pass basically. And if I change something, then it should fail. Yeah. Yeah. So this is update, and similarly for delete. Delete is again simple. So if you go here, this is delete, then ID, and you need to just pass the ID, which activity you want to delete. Okay. So if I run this particular scenario also, it should basically execute. If you see here, right, so I can actually run only individual scenarios also instead of running the entire feature file, right? You just, select the particular scenario and run. Okay, so I want this fourth thing, right? So get post put and delete is clear, and data driven also I have showed you. Okay, so next thing I want to show talk about is on the runner class. Basically, if you see here, and there is a runner class. Okay, so suppose I want to run multiple features, right? Multiple feature files together. Now for each, here I have added activities here. So it will run the activities. Now I have another package, right, where I have a user. So user also has user runner class. Okay. So you have to basically create the runner class so that all the feature files are getting executed when you execute as a complete suite basically. So if I run now from here all test or all features in Java, it should execute everything together. There are some errors. We'll check what are those errors. It might be because of the new this thing. This is fine. This is expected. Update also, I think this is expected. This is fail because of some other reason. See. Okay. Locators file it is okay. Locators file it is not getting. Locators file should not be under user. This is also a known issue. This is also, I think, locators file. Yeah, and that file path we have to change. This this is that UI test. Yeah, okay, fine. UI test is failing. That is fine. So this is the way we can run all the tests together. Okay.